Hello again, art history students. So welcome. We're still in that first little start here section where we're talking about the class. In this little short video, we're going to talk about the learning objectives and the course purpose. Why would you take this class? What would the point be? So let's jump in. All right, so these are the course learning objectives. Upon successful completion of this course, you will be able to do all of these things. You will be able to analyze, differentiate, define, and identify. It's very exciting, especially the first one where you're identifying things, right? So think about how easy it is to maybe identify ancient Egyptian artwork. Usually students have kind of familiarity with that just from popular culture, right? You can spot ancient Egyptian artwork from across the room, right? You're going to build that vocabulary up. All right, so moving on. Course purpose. It's more than these, right? Yes, you're getting your GECs and GEFs out of the way with this class, but there's a little bit more that you're going to learn about. So let's talk about that. All right, so this course is an introduction into selected artworks spanning basically all of humanity, all of known and recorded humanity. And you're going to learn about diverse ranges of people, places, events, periods in history. The exciting thing is that this is going to create, it's going to give you the ability to look at someone's values, right? So as we say, context is provided, right? We're going to talk about the first chronological people that we're going to talk about is the Neanderthals, right? This prehistoric artwork. What are these people's values? How is their art reflecting that values? What's not present in their art, right? Which tells you who or what they valued and what they did not value, right? And that's kind of bringing you a little bit closer to maybe understanding people that are different than you, right? People's with different value systems that may be similar or different than yours. People come from different socioeconomic statuses, all these kind of things. It's sort of like the information of humanity becomes accessible through art. Then, last but not least, and I have an interesting parallel for this. So it's understanding our current visual culture. So that means the visual things that we see now, you need to understand the things of the past. The best way that I can describe this in kind of a contemporary terminology is memes. Do you know how sometimes memes will be like a joke and then it'll play off of another meme and they like parallel with each other, right? And you need to understand both of them in order to get the wider joke, right? So even though we're not talking about jokes in art, there's that same idea that you need to understand both of these previous things to understand why this thing is so important, right? So that's understanding our current visual culture. That's the best analogy that maybe you young people will understand. So, all right, special note. So, due to all the things I just said in the previous slide, this class is going to maybe have course material that is going to touch upon things that might make you uncomfortable. You're going to see quite a bit of nudity, especially male nudity in this class. We're going to talk about sexual preferences. We're going to talk about war. We're going to talk about genocide. We're going to talk about human sacrifices, right? So some things that might be kind of uncomfortable. With that said, there is not going to be any room in any of these discussions for something like um, negative conversation about these people or that anything like that, right? So we're going to keep it very educational with that note, but I want you to be aware that you may be faced with something that makes you uncomfortable in this class. But if you're always comfortable, you're not growing. All right, so thank you for your attention. I will see you in the next video.